Yes.
Thank you, Reverend Heidi. It is always wonderful to be home on Thome. I remember when I first started going to Unity in Chicago when they were holding service at the Ambassador West Hotel. And the bookstore was in a box. It was 1980. So, it's been a little while, and look what it's become. It's amazing, so abundant. Thank you for this day, God, and my place in it. Thank you for each breath and every minute. And most of all, the song to sing and the heart to sing it. Thank you for the earth and sky above me, for how I love my friends and how they love me. And more than anything, the thought that you're proud of me. Oh, thy kingdom come and thy will be done, as it is on earth for each and everyone. Thank you for the eyes to always see you. Thank you for the ears to hear the whole truth. And more than anything, the hands to serve and be you. Oh, thy kingdom come and thy will be done, as it is on earth for each and everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. You know, she sent me her lyrics, and I thought those are nice lyrics, but what really makes that song work is that Megan brings herself to it, right? So thank you so much, Megan. Your heart is so connected to gratitude, and Peter and Bill and Sarah, and we we have such a great music team. Thank you. All right. It's interesting, the idea of thank you and gratitude, and the ability to see it as a tool in your spiritual journey. So we're going to start an experiment, and we're going to be in this experiment for 8 weeks, and I'll ask you at the end of the talk if you want to be in this experiment, because it is a choice. Only if you want your life to work. Like, no big deal. But I will talk today not only about the spiritual truth about gratitude, but the scientific truth about gratitude. My senior minister in Kansas City was always kind of messing with me. And he would say, you know, psychologically, he was kind of funny, but always wanted me to stretch. And so when I'd tell him a topic I was talking about, he'd say, Heidi, who cares about that? Why does that matter? And I'd be like, well, thanks for the support, you know. But what he was saying, no, but I really want you to think about why this matters, right? Why do people want to know about these things? So why do you think we talk about gratitude?
Because it's important.
It's important, right? Right? What's that? Yeah, right. It kind of gets you clearer more about what you want. Is that what, yeah? Yeah, yeah. Changes your attitude.
The more grateful, the better life we have.
Right, okay. And you know, we have to ask what you said, like the more grateful, the better life we have. Isn't that curious? Yes. Right? So we know that this is the third unity principle. Thoughts held in mind produce after in kind. It's called the law of mind action. It's a law. Right? I love spiritual law because you don't get tickets if you don't follow it, right? But it's a spiritual law. People have called it the law of attraction, you know, whatever sells the books. But the idea really is how do you live it? You know, which is what unity is. And that's why unity is so different than any kind of traditional religion where it's like this is what you believe and you follow these rules and then, you know, that's how you're part of this thing. And part of unity is really this ability to show up for the message but then to use it in your life and to tell us how you're using it in your life, like you know, Diane did. You know, to really talk about how your life has changed because you've recognized the kingdom within. You have been paying attention to it. So the main reason we talk about gratitude is to notice what you already have. And if you, any spiritual master and anyone that we would call successful in this life has a gratitude practice. And we know that success it has to be a sense of well-being. It's not just accumulating stuff. So it is a sense of well-being. And the way that the law of gratitude works is to notice what you already have. Because if we don't notice what we already have, then we can tend to notice what we don't have. Anybody ever been in a conversation like that? Somebody you want to change or something you don't have or, you know, I can't afford, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too lonely, right? Those happen. So let me tell you what it would look like. You know, we know those people that aren't connected with gratitude. So I'll tell you about this guy. One moment, please. A physician was speaking about the dangers of certain foods to a large group in Florida. He told them, you have to be aware of hidden dangers. Hydrogenated fats are killers. Soda pop melts your tooth enamel and it eats away at your stomach lining. Most prepared foods are high in sugar, salt, MSG. Even our drinking water can be harmful if it's not pure enough. But there's one food that's the most dangerous of all. Can anybody tell me what food causes the most grief and suffering even after years of being consumed? The audience was silent until an older man in the second row spoke up and said, wedding cake? This man was not in our gratitude experiment. But you know, if we keep focusing on what we don't have, pretty soon, that's our conversation, right? I mean, anybody talk about relationship, you know, right? And so we recognize that the gratitude experiment is going to be an opportunity to see how you have been provided for by the universe. Right? That may not be what you think about when you wake up in the morning, you know, right? Oh my gosh, life has given me so much. Look at what a gift I have. I mean, we've all been given this body. We've all been given this planet. We've all been given, if you do not have to look very far to find somebody that really cares about you, right? I mean, people are all around. And it's this ability to notice these things that does not only change your life, really allows you to live the life you were supposed to live. So does that sound important? Yes. Yes. Does that sound important? Yes. All right, good. Okay, that's the beginning of the gratitude experiment. It's getting excited about it. Okay, so I have been very fortunate in my life to meet people that are really on their spiritual path, many of you here, that are really practicing gratitude and are practicing living as a spiritual being. And it's not easy because, you know, it's like you never need to turn on the television ever again, you know, kind of. I mean, it's a tricky practice, especially in a culture that focuses on more and more and more and more. We have a class that just started Thursday night called The Soul of Money. And it is a wonderful class looking at this lie of scarcity. I mean, how many people don't think they're enough? How many people think something's wrong with them? How many people think that if you bought something, it's going to fix you, or you're in a relationship, or you're in this right job, or something like that? When we know the spiritual truth is that you always have what you want and that your soul is complete. So it is a beautiful conversation we're having around how to get honest about gratitude. This guy that I met years ago lives in California. He and his wife were organic farmers. And they started a restaurant called Cafe Gratitude. And it's a remarkable place. And a good friend of mine in Kansas City was so inspired by it. All the food is the name of an affirmation. So you get the I am wholesome macrobiotic vegetable bowl, and you get the I am effervescent, little fizzy kombucha drink, which is my favorite, and you get the I am luscious milkshake. And you can't have that food unless you order it by affirmation name. They're not going to give it to you, so you have to say, I am luscious. They're like, okay. And then it comes out of the kitchen, you can hear the guy back there going, I am luscious is on the bar. It's like, that's me. All right? But when you're in the restaurant, something starts to change. They even bring you questions to your table. So you and your friends are supposed to talk about what exciting thing happened to you today. And you're realizing, okay, so I guess we're not going to talk about politics in here. I mean, you see that something, it's a whole new thing you get to create with your friends. And it was fascinating to me how these people put this together. And then if you go to Kansas City, we did this when we went to Unity Village, to just visit, even look them up, Cafe Gratitude. But he wrote a wonderful story about a tuna fish sandwich. He says, one day I walked into a cafe and ordered a tuna sandwich. When the sandwich was set in front of me, I had an epiphany. A whole creation arose, the universe of this tuna sandwich. All at once, I could see the tuna fleet, the diesel mechanics, the net makers, the crew and their families, the cannery, the can maker, the baker, the wheat farmer, the combine mechanic, the grain elevator, the lettuce grower, the chicken farmer, the countless bankers, secretaries, receptionists, truck drivers, and then the earthworms and the soil microorganisms, the food chain of the oceans, the plankton, the herring, the mackerel, all placed before me for $4.50. I saw the whole body of creation working 24 hours, 7 days a week to support our existence without my attention. I don't have to manage anything. I don't have to call out, don't forget to bring the hooks. Most of the time, we're oblivious. Be with this, to the orchestration of the cosmos and the dense oblivion of ingratitude. In that dense oblivion, we'll question the existence of God or complain about the price of a sandwich. Let's breathe in, right? It's fascinating. Is that true about his tuna sandwich? I know after this experiment, you're all going to be sitting there with your food going, oh my gosh, 10 minutes, right? But this man and his wife, are farmers. So they're out there, bringing in organic food. They understand this process of how things arrive in your life. And the question is, have you noticed lately how life is providing for you? The clothes you're wearing, somebody made them. The chair you're sitting, somebody did that. Whatever you eat, many, many systems came together for that food to arrive in front of you. So the question in this gratitude experiment is, have you noticed how life is providing for you? I will just tell this joke, as I always do. I used to work for Pan Am. Your exit doors are here. Okay, I'm sorry. Always have to do that. But I used to work on the plane. And here I've got my cart. And we're going along, and I was on a long flight, so we had food. And sometimes I'd get somewhere, and we'd run out of the beef, and so they wanted chicken, or they wanted the beef, and all I had was the chicken. And this and the kind of thing. And I always had to take a deep breath, because it wasn't in my training to say what was in my head, which was, I don't know if you've noticed, but we are midair, like over an ocean. And You weren't on the plane when I got here, but when I got here, they were putting gas in the plane, and people were rolling on with all this food that somebody had made, and they've checked the tires, and the pilot is sober, that's good. And there's so many things that have gone into this plane flying. The Wright brothers that had to go up against their parents who thought they were going to hell to create a flying machine. You know, I don't have time because I got to serve everybody else on this plane, but the idea of how we miss the whole thing, right? You know, rather than appreciate the miracle of this life. We are all about, you know, I didn't get blah, blah, right? And the more we do that, and the more that we, you know, find other people to do that with us, the more that we have this gratitude that is our life force start to get sucked out of us. So this does sound important. This is important, and it is a law. So one of the things that we do here at Unity, one of your gratitude experiment practices will be to affirm the truth. So I'm going to put this up here, and since we don't have it in the bulletin, I'll say a line, and then you can repeat after me if you choose, and if not, just be with the energy of this, all right? I notice how lavishly life provides for me. I notice how lavishly life provides for me. In this fullness, I recognize that I live in abundance. Gratitude fills my heart, and I actively share that joy with others. And let's breathe in there, right? Life lavishly provides for me. Have you noticed the color of the green that is out in the garden? Have you noticed how different every single person looks? Right? You know, God in all these different forms. You know, it's a lavish way of living. Jesus lived in that sense of well-being, of gratitude. You know, he had become quite popular with his healing, with his energy, with his ability to be that grand, glorious teacher that he was. And so energetically, he drew many, many people to him. And at one point, there was a crowd of 5,000 that showed up. Now, the disciples were learning from Jesus, so they were very concerned. You know, we have not stopped by Subway. We do not have a food order. What are we going to do with all these people? And this little boy was standing there that had 5 loaves of bread and a couple of fish. And Andrew said, I'm not sure about this. How is this going to work out? And Jesus took the bread and the loaves, the loaves and the fish, and what did he do? He gave thanks. He gave thanks. And it only is one little line. It says he takes, he gives thanks, and it goes on. But the point is he gave thanks for what he had, right? It's that feeling. I mean, I can feel it right now just being in a spiritual community, right? That feeling, I think of all the years of being with Unity and all the changes that have happened to me, right? And so he's just giving thanks for what he has, and then everyone gets filled. Because that's how we feed people, that's how we touch people, is to recognize what you have, who you are, which is magnificent and ever evolving. I know you'd said, you know, Unity in Chicago and looking how it's changed, and it's going on. We are continuing to evolve. So this idea of giving thanks and then seeing the multiply factor of giving thanks for what you have. So and we don't have to yell out, wedding cake, right? We don't want that to be how one is living. There are some beautiful quotes from many people about gratitude. Brene Brown says, who is an author on authenticity and vulnerability, she says, I don't have to chase extraordinary moments to find happiness. It's right in front of me if I'm paying attention and practicing gratitude. Dennis Waitley says, happiness cannot be traveled to. Ugh, darn, right? Didn't you want to just go somewhere and that was it? Happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. Martha Washington, I've learned from experience that the greater part of happiness or misery depends on our dispositions and not on our circumstances. And Zig Ziglar, I love it, you've never met an ungrateful person who was happy, and you never met a grateful person that was unhappy. And from Thessalonians, In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. That's what we call Christ consciousness. So if you want to be connected with that spirituality, practice being thankful. And it's wonderful before a meal just to notice what's going on and, just to have people even talk about something that they're grateful for because the energy shifts. So we don't go through this life, you don't show up to fix anything without tools, okay? So this gratitude experiment is going to require tools. Can you get that? I've showed up to fix many things with the wrong device, and then I have to, where's the guy, right? So, but it didn't get fixed because I didn't have the tools that I needed. So the tools that we are going to use for these next 8 weeks, and you can decide if you want to use them or not, that you're going to have a gratitude partner, and you're going to write down every day 3 things. It can be sunshine, it can be running water, it can be your dog, right? But after that, and then you want to either text, call, or email your partner, and then they're going to do the same for you, all right? And then you can't repeat that thing. So if you said sunshine, sunshine's finished, all right? You have to go on to something else. And so you're going to be doing this for 8 weeks. That's 56 days. And I want you to notice what's shifting in you. All right? The next thing is that you're going to write a gratitude letter. This can be 1 letter in 8 weeks. It can be a letter every day. But the idea is to write a letter to someone that has inspired you, for whom you feel grateful. And it is then not only writing it, but the willingness to then call that person and read that letter to them. Now, I've looked at many videos in the last week because these gratitude videos are so beautiful. And I brought one about writing this letter. So I'd like you to watch these few people that were given this opportunity to write this letter and call their friends and see how it falls and affects you.
Shut up. What? Wait. I was going to be so embarrassed.
What makes you happy? Having fun? Hanging out with friends? Delicious food? Making money? Well, consider this. Psychologists have scientifically proven that one of the greatest contributing factors to overall happiness in your life is how much gratitude you show. Yeah? Think about that. Go ahead and marinate on it for a second. You can thank me later if you want. It'll make you feel better according to this study. You go ahead and click on it and read it if you want. Or you can keep watching because we read it and we thought it might be fun to test out for ourselves. We gathered a selection of volunteers to act as our subjects. First, we gave them a test. They didn't know what we were looking for, but it gave us a pretty good idea of their current level of happiness. We asked them to close their eyes and think of somebody who was really influential in their life, somebody who did something really amazing or important for them. We had them write down as much as they could about why this person was so important. Now, a lot of them thought at this point the experiment was over, until we really put them on the spot and tried to get them to call that person and read what they wrote about them. Thank you, Jessica. We're going to have you call your mother. So who is that right person for you?
Person is my sister, Erica.
We're going to give Erica a call.
Okay.
Who'd you end up picking?
Friend of mine, Craig Ames.
Her name is Dora.
A college accounting instructor.
Really? Is this somebody you're still in touch with today?
No, I'm assuming that he's passed on.
That's a
To the
shame.
great beyond.
You up for it?
Yes.
What would you say if we called up Dora?
Oh, we can try, but she lives in Britain.
In Britain?
Oh, no, never by heart, dude. This is awful.
That's fine. I don't know my mom's number by heart.
If it's true that those who are gone on are looking down on us, maybe he'd be a nice chicken scratch.
Hey, sweetheart.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
You got a second? Where you at, the hotel?
I am. I'm in the hotel. You scared me. Yes, I have a question on the phone.
No, I'm on like this little TV show, and they told me to talk about the person that influenced me the most, and I picked you, and they're making me call you.
Oh, wonderful.
Hi, you've reached Craig. I'm not here right now.
At the tone, please record your message.
No, come on.
Hello?
Hi.
It's me.
All right, so I got to read you this paragraph. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead,
All right.
sweetheart.
All right. The person that influenced me the most would be my mother, Marlo Dawson. She is a single mother of 2. She is a very hard worker and dedicated to her family.
Hey Craig, this is Loie. This is going to be a funny little voicemail, so I hope you enjoy it. I'm so sorry for calling you at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I have to read this to you, okay? And you can't say anything, or I don't know. You can respond, but I probably will just keep going. Okay?
Is everything okay?
Yes, but I have to read this out loud to you.
The person who has had the biggest impact on my life, outside of Jesus Christ, who is responsible for my existence, was my college accounting instructor. He had a joy and enthusiasm for his job like no other teacher I have ever known.
I love her to death, and she keeps me going with positive talk. She is a woman that knows what she wants and won't give up until it is achieved.
Oh, something. I'm about to cry because it's so beautiful. I have to say that it's wonderful.
I first met Craig on an independent feature film set in Whitefish, Montana. I recently have been sending Craig a lot of positive thoughts as he suffered a series of health problems. Despite his medical problems, he's continued to work and take pleasure in the small things in life, like sitting quietly with his wife Janine on the porch.
Erica is my older sister and my best friend. Sometimes it even feels like we are twins. She's my #1 fan and my #1 supporter. She makes me happy because despite all my mistakes and my decisions, she still loves me no matter what.
Your friendship is everything. And you are one of the most important person in my life.
Even when she has a kid and many children, I will love her more than her kids. Okay, maybe not. I will never forget when she flew 3,000 miles at the drop of a phone call to save me from a breakup.
I'm being blessed by having a son like you. I love you.
Bye.
Why did you do that?
I don't know, because they made me do it.
Thank you for picking up. Bye, sweetie.
And then they're like, here, you're gonna write this letter. And then I wrote like this whole long ass letter, which, you know, I like don't write. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, guess what? Now we're gonna call her and you're gonna read her this letter. And I was like, what the
Before we let them go, we gave our subjects one more happiness test. Now, we mixed up and rephrased the questions so they didn't know they were taking the same test twice. For those who took the time to actually write something down but couldn't make the phone call for whatever reason, we saw happiness increase between 2 and 4%. It's good, but not exactly mind-blowing. Now, for those who actually picked up the phone and personally expressed their gratitude, we saw increases between 4 and 19%. So either way, expressing your gratitude will make you a happier person. But you want to know something really interesting? The person who experienced the biggest jump in happiness was the least happy person who walked in the door. What does that mean? That means if you're having a particularly tough time, trying this out will more likely have a greater impact on you. Trust me. I'm in a lab coat. In fact, while you're at it, film it and upload it to us, and we'll do something awesome with it. I'm Julian, and this has been The Science of Happiness.
Hold that cake, subscribe.
Yeah, wow. Did you notice how the mother's like, is there something wrong? And the sister's like, are you okay? Right? Maybe we don't practice this enough, right? Telling people how we feel and allowing ourselves that kind of vulnerability. But can you feel the shift that happened for each one of them as they were willing to let their heart speak? I was reminded, I'm not sure if I can get through this one, but I traveled with a dear friend of mine, Gabby back there, and we were, you know, like how you travel with people, there were all these things we had to like, what time are you coming in? What time are you going to sleep? Do you snore? Do you not snore? All this, blah, you know? And so about 3 or 4 days into it, I just stopped, we were having lunch, and I said, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you, how much I appreciate the things you do at Unity and just who you are. I can't even look over there, but it was so you know, we just sat there and we both went, oh my gosh, this is what people need to do, right? I mean, we were really good at all the comings and goings and busyness, but we hadn't really said, you know, you really matter to me and you're really important to me. And I'll tell you, in that moment, I felt so much better. I felt so much more like that was in me that needed to be experienced was experienced. So, this is an experiment. And I'd like to ask you if you're willing to be in this experiment with your community. Say, I'm in. And let's say it again, I'm in. And I'd like you to look at your neighbor and say, I'm in. All right? All right. And your other ones, I'm in. Just try it again. Because the point is that there is more to you that will be revealed through this gratitude experiment. You know, with all these hurricanes, there was people from New Orleans that called themselves the Cajun something. And then they came over to Houston because all the Houston people had housed all the New Orleans people, right? And this way of just this generosity that just keeps coming as we let ourselves be grateful. Peter had a sister he still has a sister that lives in Tampa, and because she had to leave the hurricanes, you know, he started thinking, we usually send flowers to each other to say, to appreciate each other, but she's just left her house with her dogs and her birds and all this stuff, so maybe just sending her some money for all this maybe work she'd miss. And he called his sister, his daughter, who then created this GoFundMe experience, and they raised $1,200 in a very short period of time. And Peter was thinking maybe $200, but with the power of gratitude and starting to think about who you appreciate, who you care about, who can really need to hear from you, you know, this is what we do on this planet. We get confused and do a lot of other things, like, you know, feel broken and criticize and always are looking for what we don't have. But we have so much. We have so much all the time, every breath. Let's just take a breath and think, thank you for this breath, right? All right. So I'm excited, really excited about this. And it's going to culminate with our wonderful party called our gala that's going to be all about the energy of gratitude. So I'm glad you're in, because it's kind of a bummer to be doing these things by yourself. And so I'd like to, let's just say, the last thing is that when you are putting your clothes on, when you're having running water that's hot, you know, when you're having all these experiences that are really blessings to your life, to just give thanks, to think about how grateful you are. And let's say our affirmation one more time to just really experience. I'll say it once again because some people can't see up here. So let's see. I notice how lavishly life provides for me. Together. I notice how lavishly life provides for me. In this fullness, I recognize that I live in abundance. Gratitude fills my heart, and I actively share that joy with others. And we breathe into that truth. And so I just want to remind you that you are gratitude, that as you saw with all these people, it is already in them, but it will take vulnerability. It will take your ability to see how amazing you are and how amazing the people in your life are. So we're going to recognize that you are a sanctuary and you are here to do... I'm so grateful y'all are here. And should we do a 12:30 service? I'm totally playing. But anyway, I'm just glad y'all are here. So the idea that we really are, I love them. That I can play with y'all, right? Because we know, yeah. All right. So this ability to be, a sanctuary of all things, to be a place where blessings flow. So we're going to sing this together as we reflect on doing a gratitude experiment, okay? You and the wonderful soul that is you.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary,
so we allow gratitude to guide us in our time together. So breathe in this feeling of gratitude for this breath. Gratitude allows us to be a sanctuary, a place of seeing your body as a temple, of seeing your soul as a lighthouse, a beacon coming from within out. And in this wonderful spiritual audacity in which we live, this gratitude experiment, bring to mind, bring to your heart all of the ways that, that life has already provided for you. And in fact, focus on one or two. And allow yourself to see how you are so beloved. You're so precious. You're so valuable. Let's be with this beautiful music of Peter's and the beautiful heartbeat of each and every one of us present. Transformed by the renewal of your mind. Give thanks for what you already have. You have so much. Recognize that anything you do want in this life comes to you by being grateful. Generosity is born out of knowing your fullness. And so we allow this spiritual law to reveal itself through us. Take a breath and recognize, I'm grateful for this breath. And let's hold hands with our spiritual family, and if you're close by, and we'll sing the second part of Sanctuary.
Lord, teach your
Children,
to stop the fighting and start uniting all as one. Let's get together, loving forever, a sanctuary for you.
So in this moment of stillness, you can keep your eyes closed and holding hands if you choose. And I'd like you to say a name, a situation that you'd like to put out into the world in a state of prayer. We hold our beloved community in our hearts and prayers. We hold the ministers that serve at this church, our board, our staff, our volunteers in this powerful prayer energy, and we bless each and every one of them. We bless our leaders of this country and leaders all over the world, that their hearts be connected to peace and oneness and well-being. May our peace and oneness bless our brothers and sisters all around the world as we hold this high watch. And we thank you, God, for prayers already answered. I'll invite you to open your eyes and look at the names that are up on the screen, and let's just hold these souls that have asked for prayer in your hearts. We know the moment that we have a thought of wellness and love, that prayer is immediately received, and the oneness and the wellness is happening. So we thank Spirit for this ability to know the truth and that it allows us to be set free. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. And so it is. Amen. So our chaplains are here to pray with you after the service, and they are right in the Fillmore room, and you'll be drawn to the energetic pool of love in that room. And so our chaplains are many of these souls here today, and I know I see Sue Ellen and Gabby, and so, well, that's a big team right there. And who else? And Tom is back, our care bearer. That's my new word for him. Anyway, so we have Tom and Sue Ellen and Gabby, and you all just take some time because, again, prayer is so much about gratitude. It can be about anything heavy, but it's also about really looking at ways that we are grateful. So they're here to pray with you in the Fillmore room. And also, if you want a monthly wellness call, there is a list upstairs and downstairs on the prayer table about having a monthly wellness call. And I know when Rosie calls me once a month, and I just feel that sense of connection and gratitude. So thank you, chaplains, very much for being here and doing this wonderful work that you do, this ministry. All right, so we are going to celebrate our abundance and our gratitude through the flow of financial giving. And it is an honor to really recognize what you have received and give where you're spiritually fed. You certainly can write your check and things. There's also a credit card machine. There's a way to get into an Abundant Life recurring program, and you can do that on over at the wings. So if you'll put your hands together in one way or whether you have something within them or not, because it's mainly just the energy of your love and your appreciation of Unity in Chicago. And we'll say together our offering blessing, all right? I am abundance in action. There is no lack in my life. I give from the fullness of what I receive. What I give returns into my life multiplied abundantly. I hold a vision of thriving for myself and for Unity in Chicago. And so it is. And God is our source. So here we go.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Yeah, woo! Thank you, Megan. You're going on my gratitude list tomorrow, that's for sure. All right, hello, darling. All right, so we just breathe into generosity and wellness and know that you give from that sense of fullness. I am so grateful. Let's say this together. I am so grateful for the life I've been given to lead. I am prosperity. I give generously. I receive gratefully. And all is well. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, man. All right. So this is going to be a great experiment. Don't you agree? Yes, and I look forward to seeing how it's going to shift energetically for sure. And just know that you're, again, welcome to write a testimonial, and we just love to see it. And all right, so we have fundraisers that are fun. The word is focused on fun, and we have 3 big ones coming up. The first one is tomorrow night. It's the Outrageous Bingo at Hamburger Mary's, and it is extraordinary. And DC has been our gratitude guru around the bingo. So would you like to come up and say it's tomorrow night, so you don't want to miss it? Bring your grandmother. Who cares, right? All right. Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Yes. Hey, DC.
I hate getting up in front because I don't like to have any attention drawn to myself. But anyway, I hope you can make it to bingo tomorrow night. It starts at 8 o'clock at Hamburger Mary's. If you get there at 7:30, it's fine to get ready for the bingo. If you want to come and eat, I would say get there at 7 o'clock. It's $15 to play 10 games of bingo. You can play 1 or 2 games and leave if you want, or you can stay for all of the fun for the 10 games. All of the proceeds go to Unity, which is great. So just think about it. $15 to play. If 1 million people show up, $15 million. If a few less people show up, well, we're going to go with that. So we'll see you tomorrow night, Hamburger Mary's, 8 o'clock or shortly before. Thanks.
You're such a character. Thank you. Thank you. And we've raised thousands of dollars with bingo. And to see Hamburger Mary calling out she's a drag queen. She's fantastic. It's the most outrageous bingo. And all these great prizes, too. So, all right. So it starts at 8, but at 6:30 if you want to eat, and at least by 7:30 to get a seat. All right. So the second thing is on Friday night, October the 6th, we are having the Unity Singers Concert that we have every year. It is an amazing time of gratitude because all our Unity singers donate their time. Peter donates his time, and all the musicians donate their time, and Peter's writing charts as of yesterday. So I really strongly encourage you to come. It is a concert unlike any other. You have opera and jazz and rock and roll and blues, and it is just extraordinary. So a ticket is $20. If you want to sit up front, it's $35. We make room for people to dance, but buy your ticket today. So because it's already September 24th, so it's coming up really soon. It's a Friday night, and it starts we're not going to have any food before. Eat your food and come at 7:30 on the dot. It's starting at 7:30, so come at 7. All right, so that's the Friday night, October 6th, and then this gratitude experience culminates. These ladies were here from another church, and they said the way they do their announcements is with drums. So we'll work with this, so everybody's wakes up. So the gala, we'll be talking to you, Sarah. So the gala is Friday night, November the 3rd, and we have an extraordinary team putting it together. So we have Lindy Gillis and Michelle Schmall, and Martha, are you coming up too, Jacobs? But anyway, they're coming up for their announcement. They're going to tell you about it. Who's ever coming up? Yay. All right. Oh, here we go, sweetie. Okay.
Well, we're just going to have me come up to these.
Okay.
But you'll be seeing the rest of them next week when we're actually doing our ticket sales kickoff. But the gala is November 3rd. And I want to say first, I am very grateful to get to co-chair it this year with Lindy Gillis and with a great team who's all sitting over here in the corner. So it's great. And what I'm here to talk about today is another part of the gala. First, I'm not sure if everybody's been to the gala, so just in case you haven't been before, it's a fabulous evening of dinner, dancing, and a lot of games, and a great way to raise money for Unity in Chicago. And part of the way we raise money is we have a live auction, and we have a silent auction, and we have raffles, and we have games the DC runs, and it's just a blast. But the way we get the prizes for the live auction, the silent auction, and the raffles and the wheels is from all of our congregants. So today we're taking donations. We have a little donation form. So if there's anything that you might personally like to donate, fantastic. It's also an opportunity for you to talk to those vendors that you work with. If you go to vendors or restaurants you go to, or where you get your hair cut, or who gives you a massage, and say, wouldn't you like to donate to our gala? And it really, really works. Last year we raised $50,000, and it's just a great example of the law of circulation in practice. And I love it. So thanks so much. See us either in the Sunshine Gallery or downstairs. Thanks.
Oh, you're really nice. All right, thank you so much. Okay, I did want to say, because someone brought it up at the first service, we didn't put the membership commitment form in this week because we didn't have a table. We didn't have people that were going to be able to man it for questions. So if you have any questions about being a member, we're going to have an annual meeting in the middle of November, and you're welcome to just, you know, anyway, all the things about being a member are in our bylaws, and we can certainly talk to you about that. All right, so we have Shar Bennington next coming up to give us some good news here. Here you are, my dear.
Oops. Okay, so for those of you who are joining us for the first time today, we are absolutely thrilled that you did, and we would love to, we have a token of appreciation for you and a little reminder of your time here. So if this is either your first, second, or even third time, please raise up your hand so we can find you. Great, keep your hands up so we can do it. The people who are passing out the flowers are part of our welcome team. They have on white badges, and they will be available after the service to greet you. And along with a welcome flower, there's a packet with a lot of good information, and there's a form that we'd love for you to complete so we learn just a little bit more about you and can keep in touch. And if you take your form to the Sunshine Gallery, in there you will also receive your free, fabulous Unity tote bag. Isn't that amazing? So take that little sheet in there, go greet they'd like to meet you and learn more about you and pick up that great bag. So if you'd like to donate flowers for a special occasion that is coming up, October 8th is available, as well as other dates in October. Please stop by the information desk or email Mickey@unitychicago.org to reserve your times. And then just a couple other announcements. Pet Ministry, as you know, is here each Sunday with pets in need of either foster or forever homes. Please see Carol Stiegel for more information on how to take in a pet or otherwise support this fabulous ministry. Our Spanish language service, Unity in Espanol, will be held today at 1 p.m. in the library on the first floor. Our monthly Unity Healing Prayer Service, led by Reverend Patty Pipia, that's this Wednesday, September 27th at 7 o'clock. And it's always offered the last Wednesday of each month. This Wednesday doesn't work. Keep in mind, it's always the last Wednesday. And of course, there's so much that's going on here. The best way to know that, stay in touch with us, visit our website regularly, unitychicago.org. Sign up for the e-newsletter if you're not on it, and then read that because there's some amazing things. And then read your bulletin because there's a lot of good stuff in there too. And now, help me welcome back the very fabulous Megon McDonough.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Shar, and Reverend Heidi. You are fantastic. You are rocking it here at Unity. In fact, Reverend Heidi and I hung out a little bit this summer, and we went to go see Sheryl Crow. Yeah. We know all the songs, but we talked a lot, so it's a good thing we were on the lawn, because they would have kicked us out of the pavilion. But I just appreciate you, and I'm grateful you're in my life. Thank you so much. So, listen, you got to have a dream. That's what I know.
Gonna go to Texas, drive a Cadillac, sing a swinging song, don't know when I'm coming back. Maybe meet a cowboy or a big tycoon, and I'll have lots of diamonds and a mansion full of rooms. Gotta have a dream, they say. headed to London, gonna tool around that town in an Aston Martin, maybe wear a pretty crown. Go see William Shakespeare sing at Royal Albert Hall. Have tea with Kate and William and talk about it all. Gotta have a dream, they say. Gotta dream it every day. And when life gets in the way of your new song, oh, you can't go wrong if you just dream on. Look back at the dreams that you dreamed and the ways they came true. You'll see that how it all happened could not have been planned completely by you. Gonna travel inward, give my feet a rest, 'cause the journey to the heart can turn out to be the best. Oh, maybe there's a new dream living in my soul, a beautiful new story that's just waiting to be told. Gotta have a dream, they say. Gotta dream it every day. And when life gets in the way of your new song, oh, you can't go wrong. Gotta have a dream, they say. Gotta dream it every day. And when life gets in the way of your new song, yeah, you can't go wrong if you just dream on. You just dream on. Just dream on. Thank you so much, Home on Thome. Love you. Thank you, Reverend Heidi.
So fun. You stay up here. Yes, yay. Oh my gosh, and thank you all. Oh, how wonderful. So let's just stay standing. Oh my gosh, Megan, that voice of yours, unbelievable. All right, so we're going to say together our affirmation, and then we will go out into the world in that sense of noticing what you already have, okay? So here we go. I notice how lavishly life provides for me. In this fullness, I recognize that I live in abundance. Gratitude fills my heart, and I actively share that joy with others. Let it be great. Here we go.
the love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God is over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is
Thank you.